Welcome to this new episode of Unfiltered Cricket Podcast. We are back to discuss cricket again with you guys, and Mahesh is back with us. Unfortunately, he could not make it in the previous episode, which we shot about Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. So, welcome back, Mahesh, to this podcast to discuss cricket again. Over to you.
Thanks, Anubhav. As always, it's great to be back on the podcast discussing cricket. Cricket, obviously, a favorite pastime. So let's get started with the podcast.
So, before we start the podcast, I would just like to ask you, how was your England trip, by the way? Because you went to England as we discussed in our last time we met. For the podcast. So
Yeah.
just share your experience, man.
Oh, England. Oh my God, that was a dream come true, man. I was dreaming of going to England, especially London, since I was a kid. Uh, the dream started in 2005 when the match, I think it's the second or third test, I believe, at Edgbaston. It was a close finish, and Geraint Johns took the catch down the leg side. Michael Castrovic was a batsman, I believe. That was when the dream started, and it took me 20 years to get there, but I did make it to London finally, and amazing city, and true cricket historic cricket culture there. I'd been to the iconic Lord's Stadium, and I'd been to the Oval as well, the Kensington Oval. I visited both the stadiums, and I had the privilege. I cannot say the privilege, the dream, the ultimate glory for a cricket fan, visiting the Lord's balcony and the media center, the long room, the dressing rooms. I sat where Joe Root usually sits. Tendulkar when he played at Lords, Alistair Cook, some greats of the game who've played the game since 1840. Lords, obviously, it's not 1840, sorry, it's 1825, I believe. It has about 200 years of history. 1814, sorry, 1814. So more than 200 years of history. It was a surreal moment, unbelievable one. Finally came true, and I did explore a lot of other players in England as well. But I'm just going to highlight the cricketing stuff here. And post Lords, I went to the Oval. The Nords versus Surrey game was going on at that point of time. I did get a glimpse of that game. It was a final day. Nords did win it, and the home team lost. So I got to enter the oval ground and kind of set my foot on oval, and I got a glimpse of the pitch from very close quarters as well. I actually sat in the members stand, witnessing the game, and obviously even you were there on video call when I was watching the match. And obviously, even in oval also, they have a long room. They have all this tradition where good stuff is served to all the members in the long room who have the membership there. I got to kind of witness and see all that stuff. Truly amazing one. The way they have preserved the cricketing legacy and the how the complete thing is preserved there. I would say it is just amazing the way they maintained it. And we visited the Lord's Museum and the old museum as well. This incredible stuff, a dream come true, and I think it is a must do for all the cricket fans out there. Uh, visit London at least once, and at least if not all, visit the Lords at least. Just soak in the atmosphere and take the tour there, and the Ganguly balcony. Oh my God, what an experience!
Yeah.
Standing in the same balcony where Saurav just took off his shirt and he twirled it after we won the NAT 2002 NAT was final. Just amazing stuff. People are very friendly. The Lord staff is very friendly. They take good care of you. Unlike India, obviously. In India, once you visit a match, how you treat it. It is not like that. You treat it like a king because you paid money to get there, and you get the proper treatment what a ticket payer or the cricket lover has to get. And once it's slightly controversial, I think I'm not never going to visit any cricket stadiums again in India. Again. I think if I'm going to watch cricket match, I think it will be either in Australia or England or New Zealand or these kind of places. Nah, I'm not going to go to stadium again in India.
Yeah,
You are treated third class.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I
So
was going to add on, because I know people who have been to Indian stadiums and they share the same views as you do. Because I have also been there. I have also been to cricket stadiums in India, so I can resonate with the feelings which you are having right now. Why you don't want to go? So I completely agree with what you
yeah, because
experienced and
the ticket
you
price is
used.
50 rupees, 100 rupees, okay. Not paying 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000,
Mm-hmm.
5,000.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No
Mm-hmm.
way. No way.
True.
And you still get third class treatment after going there. The washrooms are not good,
Yeah.
and the food is very expensive, and it is not
Mm-hmm.
hygienic as well.
Mm-hmm.
The entire kind of they don't organize it properly. Organization is
Yep.
very bad.
Yep.
So yeah, yeah.
So yep. So as you discussed how England was for you and what was your experience, and also with the background behind me, I think you guys must have guessed what we are here to talk about. We
Mm.
are here to discuss about something very exciting, which was a very important part of our childhood and our adulthood as well, and a very upcoming exciting
Mm.
series as well. It's about the Ashes. It's about the Ashes, the mighty Ashes, the greatest rivalry of cricket between England and Australia. So, I would like to give you guys a short glimpse, a short background of the origin of the story of the Ashes. Okay, so uh, Australia toured England in the year of 1882. Okay, and they beat England for the first time in their own soil. So, there was a journal, a British newspaper named as the Sporting Times, which wrote an obituary sharing that this is the death of England cricket, and the bodies will be cremated and the ashes will be taken to Australia. So, when England toured Australia in the next year, subsequent year, in the 82-83, then the English captain at that time, who was Horn Evo Bly, who just said that we will bring back the ashes, we'll regain those ashes. So from this was the origin of the Ashes series. The rivalry between these two countries was named as the Ashes. And from Ashes, my best memory, honestly speaking, is the 2005 Ashes, which we are going to start the podcast with. The 2005, the mighty Ashes, which we started watching cricket from mostly, was the first big memory of ours as childhood. So, before starting to talk about the series match wise and series wise, we would like you to have a view of the 2005 Ashes before we start discussing match wise. Yep, over to you, Mesh.
Hmm. It's been a long time, 20 years, man. 20 years. We are about 30 years, and it's
Yep.
a 20 years old series. And according to me, that was the best test series I ever saw. Easily,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
easily the best test series I ever saw. And I think it was my second or third series as a cricket lover,
Mm-hmm.
and my first big series, which obviously kind of made me fall in love with this game. I still
Mm-hmm.
remember as a school boy, I think I was in fourth standard or fifth standard, and the 2005 Ashes was in England. And as you know, England matches usually start say around 3:30 our time.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And I remember on match days, I made sure I was at home very quickly. As soon as the school
Mm-hmm.
bell rings, I used to make a point that I used to kind of run back to home to not miss the Ashes, right? So that was the kind of passion we had at that point of time. The series definitely lived up to the expectation.
Yep.
And the iconic moment of the series, I would say, again, your picture, right? Uh, this thing, Flintoff and
Yep.
Betley. and I think it was in Edgbaston, if I'm wrong, not wrong.
Yes, yes,
That
it was a second test match. Yep.
it was a second test match, and that was a test match I referred to, right? Where the dream of visiting England
Mm-hmm.
started off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Castro is nicking off to Geraint Johns, and John
Yep.
just
We'll
taking
talk
the
about
catch.
that.
And I think, yeah, England won it by 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a picture or the moment which is stuck in my brain. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, the battles between Shane Warne, Kevin Peterson, man, oh, he was a new bloke at that point of time.
Yep.
He was a superstar. Kevin Peterson was a superstar at that point of time, and we fell in love with him. The way
Yes,
he batted and the
we
way he
did.
carried himself, and the kind of flair he showed right through that series. And Andrew Flintoff, who can forget his contribution in that series?
Yep.
Absolutely a great childhood memory. And Shane Warne, the performances of Shane Warne, he bowled really, really well in that
Mm-hmm.
series.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in personally also he was going through a divorce, and in spite of all the personal kind of hurdles he had, getting through all that and performing the way he did. And not to forget, I think he dropped a very important catch in that series as well, if I remember it correctly, which obviously resulted in the series being lost. So I think I don't remember who was a batsman. He dropped a catch.
Mm-hmm.
That catch resulted to be very, very important. I remember that drop catch very fondly, but I do not remember who the batsman is. He dropped the catch in the slips, a very easy one. And Matthew Hayden had a really rough series, if I
Mm-hmm.
remember it correctly. And overall, Australians looked unbeatable in that era, man.
Mm-hmm.
England just coming from behind and like kind of
Yep.
beating Australia, and the drama surrounding the series.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely the best test series I ever saw till now. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been 20 years. I think that will still be the best test series I ever saw as a kid, right?
Yep.
Some great memories of that series, and the entire series was just it's just a folklore, just an amazing series. Yeah, yeah, you can probably continue with it, and I'll add on as we move along in the chat.
Yep. So moving on to the first test match. This was played at the
Mm.
iconic Lord Stadium which you visited. And
Yeah, yeah,
and
the Mecca
Australia
of cricket.
yep. So Australia were batting first in these innings.
Mm.
And it was a beautiful bowling innings from England. I remember from the first test that the pitch
Mm.
was actually not looking like it will do that much as it did once the game progressed. It looked like a flat wicket, but
Mm.
it did not turn out to be a flat wicket. Number one.
Mm.
Number two, there was a barrage of short balls from Stephen Harmison, if I remember correctly, in the first
Mm.
innings.
Mm.
Barrage of
Mm.
short balls for Simon Jones and Stephen Harmison. They were continuously bowling short to the Aussie batsmen, and that resulted
Mm.
into some few
Yes.
wickets. And as you said, Matthew Hedden was horrible. He was not nowhere near his best in that series. And in the first innings, I'll just bring on the stats as well for those who like it. 190 all out in the first innings, 40.2 overs. Justin Langer scored 40 of 44. Matthew Hedden, 12 of 25. I remember this beautiful delivery. It was a beautiful in swinger from Matthew Hoggard, which got Matthew Hedden there.
Swanu, I just cut you there. I just
Hmm.
want to add one more point here to the viewers.
Hmm.
See, we have not rehearsed everything. Everything is very natural.
Yep.
So we are just recollecting what we have kind of been through in childhood, and we just kind of putting it here in the podcast. We just
Yep.
taking the scorecard as a reference. That's all. There is no
Exactly.
rehearsal. There is no pre-planning. It is just a free flow of conversation. Yeah, you can continue,
Yep.
Swanu.
So with the scorecards, I'll tell you guys that when we are reading on the scorecards, that then we recollect those moments suddenly. That this also happened.
Yeah.
Oh, he got out like this. Oh, he scored this runs. Yeah, I remember he scored. He hit that six over covers and all. So this is how we remember things. We don't rehearse anything. That's the reason why this channel is unfiltered. Our conversation is
Yeah.
unfiltered. Okay, there's no rehearsal, nothing. Just we are speaking our minds out, speaking our hearts out. Few people may like it, few people may don't, but this is who we are. This is who we are. We just love cricket and we want to discuss cricket. So
Yeah, it
yes,
is not a professional Ian Bishop, Barsha Bhogle kind of a
yeah,
cricket.
yeah.
It's not as casual as a great cricketer as well, somewhere in between you can find.
Let's not take a dig at other people who are successful. We just want to
No,
just
no, no,
continue.
no.
Yeah, let's just continue
No,
with
just
whatever we
give
are
a point
doing.
to the
So yeah,
viewers.
because they are doing great in whatever they're doing. So yeah, no hard
No, just a
feelings.
reference point to the viewers, how
Yep,
they can view this podcast.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. Understood. So yeah, coming back to the game, Ricky Ponting was worked out really well. I remember Stephen Harmison bowled a 140 knots an hour fast delivery, a short one, which
Mm.
hits Ricky Ponting straight flash into the helmet. It went through the helmet and he started bleeding from his sides of the face,
Yeah,
just below his
I
eye. I
remember.
remember that visual. And shortly after that, he was worked out by Harmison, a ball moving away, and he was gone. He was gone. He was
That's
just
gone, yeah.
he was caught in the sleeves by Andrew Strauss. And this was the debut series of Michael Clark as well. Was it? No, it was
No,
not
the
the debut
debut series
series. It
was
was
the
not a
Indian series.
was the India series, right? So it was the beginning of
Mm.
the career for
I've
Michael
been to
Clark.
his first test match. I've been to his, it was in Bangalore.
Yeah, it was not a debut, but it
Mm.
was very new to international cricket.
Mm.
Michael Clark at that time.
Mm.
So he scored 11 of 22. It was a beautiful incoming delivery which was bowled by Simon Jones. I remember that ball cutting in and Michael Clark was found wanting there.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then it was all about Stephen Harmison in the first innings. 5 wicket haul. Simon Cattage was taken by Harmison. Adam Gilchrist was also taken by Harmison. Adam Gilchrist was taken by was dismissed by Andrew Flintoff. Round the wicket. It
Mm.
was a good delivery moving away from
Mm.
Andrew Flintoff. And Shane Warne was cleaned up by Harmison. He was a good contribution though from Shane Warne, 28 of 29, lower the order. And then Brett Lee,
Shannon batted really well in that series as well.
yes, and Brett Lee was
Mm.
also caught in the by Grant Jones as well, 3 for 8. And
Mm.
Jason Gillespie's LBW, oh, I remember this. The way he was falling over, it reminded me of Ishant Sharma, the way he was batting. Very similar styles of batting.
Very similar style. Ishan Sharma and Gillespie, accurately.
Yeah, and the hairs and all they look same as well. So yeah. So yeah, as
Very
we were
similar.
discussing, Stephen Harbison took a 5 wicket haul. Matthew Hogarth was expensive,
Mm.
5 runs and over. Andrew Flintoff and Simon Jones all were expensive, but took 2 wickets each, and Matthew Hogarth took 1 wicket.
Mm.
In reply, Australia were on fire. It was Glenn McGrath who was playing that first Test match, and the first wicket, if I am not wrong, was his 500th Test wicket. The first wicket which he took in the
Mm,
Ashes
yeah,
series,
I
yeah,
believe so. Yeah, he
yeah,
did get his 500 test wicket in that series. I think the first wicket was his 500 test
yeah.
wicket. Yes,
First wicket was his 500th Test wicket, and he was bowling beautifully. The
I
ball moving.
remember that. Anil Kumble and Glenn McGrath were kind of fighting with each other for that third position after Muralidharan and Shane
Yep,
Warne at
yep,
that point
yep, 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 yep.
in childhood. That was a very kind of very kind of clear memory I have with regard
Mm-hmm,
to that. They
mm-hmm.
were fighting for the third place in that all-time wicket takers list.
Yep, yep, yep. So Australia came back very strongly. The response was massive. England got all out for 155. Trescothick was
Mm.
taken up by McGrath. McGrath took his wicket. A beautiful delivery moving away from Trescothick. He edged it. Andrew Stoss also very similar dismissal. Michael Vaughan also did not have a good series, mind you. And he was cleaned up by
Mm.
McGrath with a beautiful delivery. Yeah, he was just shocked,
Yeah.
bamboozled by that ball. The ball just moving, nipping away a bit. Ian Bell was also cleaned up by McGrath. And then
Mm.
came a debutant who did not give a damn about anything what's going around him. That guy was Mr. Kevin Peterson. Oh my God,
Mm.
the curly
The batsman of the series.
yeah, the batsman of the series, coming in and just giving no damn about this is the world beaters Australia. I don't care. I'll just smash you all around the park. And this was the attitude which he came in with. 57 of 89, 8 fours and 2 sixes, and he got out to Warren while trying to hit a six, if I remember correctly.
Mm. Clock sweep, I believe.
Slog sweep, yeah, he was caught in the deep by
Yeah.
Damon Martin.
So,
He was running
Mm.
behind and he took the catches. It was a beautiful, beautiful innings. Andrew Flintoff failed in the first innings. He was bowled by McGrath.
Mm.
Beautiful delivery. Grant Jones applied himself really, really well. By the time he was playing,
Mm.
I remember particularly for Grant Jones, he was playing through the square area of the wicket really, really well. The third man area, the point area, he was playing beautifully. The drives were good. He applied himself really well. And he was a young guy that back then. And he was a good
And he
player.
was a little wicket keeper too. He was a little wicket keeper, very gutsy keeper, and a very
Yeah.
kind of punching above the weight kind of a wicket keeper
Yeah.
batsman.
Yep, yep, yep.
Mm.
Looked a bit like
Yeah,
Parthiv
he
Patel,
did
but
make some very crucial contributions.
yeah, he looked a bit like Parthiv Patel, but his contributions were way better.
Yeah, he looked a bit like Parthiv Patel, but his contributions were way better. Exactly.
Yep. And Ashley Giles got 11 for 13. He was Lee in the start of the innings. He was not that good. He was
Mm.
taken apart by Flintoff and all. But towards the end of the
Mm.
innings, he cleaned up the tail really quickly. Grant Jones he was caught behind, slashing hard outside off,
Mm.
and Ashley Giles was also gone. Similar way, Matthew Hogarth was taken up by Shane Warne. Stephen Harmison was
Mm.
taken up by Lee. A beautiful delivery. And Simon Jones was not out in the end. He scored 20 of 14. And
Mm.
then Australia finished off the game in the second innings. They batted really, really well. They batted really, really well. Justin Langer and Matthew Henry did not contribute much. I remember the run out of Justin Langer. Beautiful, beautiful throw from Kevin Peterson just took out Justin Langer early in the innings.
Yeah.
6 for
Mm.
18, 6 for 15, sorry. Australia scored 384 all out in the third innings. And Matthew Hayden tried to apply himself well, but he was cleaned up by Andrew Flintoff. And then Ricky
Mm.
Ponting also was trying to apply himself. Then he was taken apart by Matthew Hoggard. Damon Martin was cleaned up by Harmison. A beautiful delivery. He was trapped in front. Michael Clark, but he applied himself well. Damon Martin and Michael Clark played really, really well in the middle order. 65 of 138 for Damon Martin and 91 of 106 for Michael Clark. Beautiful innings. He batted all around the park really well. He was using his speed beautifully against Ashley Giles. From Ashley Giles, I remember it was a very particular trait of Ashley Giles. He rarely bowled from round the wicket to the right hand batsman. He always used to bowl from over the wicket to right hand batsman,
Correct. Always.
which nullifies the LBW a lot. But he liked that line,
Mm.
and it did give him some success though.
You can say it as a negative tactic, but it gave him some success as well.
I think the reason why it stopped these days, I believe the reason
DRS.
behind it is the DRS.
Mm.
The DRS
Yeah.
has reduced those bowlers going over the wicket and all because it reduces the LBW chances a lot, right? So that's the reason
Mm.
why now the
Correct.
rules allows in that
Correct.
direction. So they have gone into that fashion.
The rules
Salmon
have
Katic,
changed, so the kind of tactic is not applicable at this point of time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then Salmon Katic scored 67 or 113. A really good batsman, Salmon Katic. I remember lower
Yeah,
down the
yeah,
order,
yeah.
beautiful
Low
flary
down the order.
batsman. Adam Gilchrist failed
Mm.
again. Beautiful ball by Andrew Flintoff, cleaned him up. Shane Warne was also taken out. He tried to slash hard and got out. Bretley
Mm.
was run out by Giles, and Jason Gillespie was again trapped in a very similar manner by Simon Jones, but he was around for a longer time this time, 13 of 52. And Glenn McGrath was not out for 20 for 32. He was unbeaten in the
Mm.
end. And now, England, in reply, were bundled out for 180. Bundled out for 180. Marcus Trescothick and Andrew Stoss started out well to have a chance at the chase, but didn't last long. Marcus Trescothick was taken apart by Shane Warne. And Andrew Strauss was caught and bowled by Lee.
Mm.
And Michael Vaughan was again cleaned up by beautiful delivery by Lee. It was just fast 140 knots an
Mm.
hour delivery. Just pitched and moved away a bit and it cleaned up Michael Vaughan. Ian
Mm.
Bell was trapped in front by a beautiful slider from Vaughan. I remember that ball because the slider just went along with the
Mm.
arm
Yeah,
and just
even I
trapped him in
remember this
front.
ball now.
Yeah. And then again in the second innings, Kevin Peterson, 64 not out of 79 deliveries, 6 fours and 2 sixes. This guy did not care about the occasion or anything. He's just like, okay, I just love batting. I'll continue batting. I'll smash them all around the park. A
The
guy who could,
consistency was there in every innings he played.
he was playing spin well, he was playing pace well, he was playing aggressive, he was manipulating the field. It was amazing to see that from him.
Yes.
And Andrew Flintoff was cleaned up by Vaughan. Grant Jones was cleaned up by McGrath. A beautiful delivery. Ashley Giles was again a good. I think the tail did not contribute at all. The tail did not try even to survive. All went for duck. Ashley Giles, Matthew Hogarth, Steve Harmison, Simon Jones. Everyone was cleaned up very, very quickly. McGrath,
And that tail is not the tail which is as strong as England's tail now. That was a different tail.
yeah, that was a different tail. That was
Mm.
literally a tail. This is a
That was
batting order.
literally a tail. Yeah.
So in the second
Yeah.
innings,
Yeah.
also Glenn McGrath took 4 wickets, Britley took 2 wickets, Shane Warne took 4 wickets, and took the game home for England. It was 1-0, and Glenn McGrath was rightfully judged the man of the match.
And McGrath got injured for the next match. In maybe I
Exactly.
think it's during the training, I believe. That's where the series turned.
Yeah, that injury was a
Mm.
big, big blow for England, for
Yeah.
Australia. Sorry, it's a big blow for Australia, big boost for England that McGrath was ruled out for the second Test
Australia's
match.
best fast bowler. Not Australia. World cricket best fast bowler at that point of time.
Yeah, so he was
Mm.
ruled out, and it was very, very unfortunate for Australia. And Michael
So he's
Kasparovich,
perfectly suited for the English conditions. He's
exactly.
perfectly suited for Australian conditions as well.
Yeah,
But for the English conditions, he's even more better.
yeah. Because his consistency, right, to hit the same area
Yeah,
again and again and again and again, that was the reason why he was successful. And it is very
yeah.
much, it would pay uh, huge rewards to you because the ball
And his
does something
length,
in
man.
England.
It's not too full, not too short at the
Yeah, the
correct
length, the length,
lengthy balls. Yeah,
the uncomfortable
the
length for
length,
the batsman.
the
That's what gave him so
uncomfortable
much
length.
success, or gave him so much
Mm.
success. And coming to the test match, which made all of us fall in love with cricket, fall in love with the Ashes, the Edgbaston Test. The
That's
Edgbaston
Baston. It's
Test.
iconic.
Iconic Edgbaston Test. So
Yeah.
England batted first and batted really, really well. They were smashing them all around the park. It's unfortunate that these starts given by the batsmen were not converted into big scores by them. Marcus Trescothick got a 90 of 102 back in those days in Test cricket. That's a huge thing. 88 strike rate.
That's a very, very good strike rate.
Yeah, he was taken apart by Kastrovic in the end. Finally, well, I remember the dismissal of Marcus Trescotti. He just threw his hands outside of just like this, and he was taken. He was caught behind by Adam Gilchrist. It was a good ball, just outside of. He could have left it alone just like that, but he slashed his hands hard at it, and he was caught behind. Andrew Strauss was bowled by Vaughan. A beautiful delivery outside of. This is not the
Um,
dismissal which you are talking about.
yeah,
This dismissal was in the second innings, which you are thinking it is. The leaving alone and going behind the leg, it was the second innings
yeah,
dismissal. The first innings dismissal was in front. It pitched off the rough, outside off stump, and Andrew Strauss was stranded in the crease and it hit the middle and leg stump. He did not leave it alone.
yeah.
He could not
I
react.
remember this.
Yeah, this was a different dismissal. But this thing happened, which you are thinking about. This dismissal happened in the second innings, though. Just imagine it's day one, and Shane Warne turned it so much on that day itself. It's amazing.
Then in England,
In England, that's what.
all
And
hardest spins in England.
Michael Vaughan's woes continued. He got out for 24 of 41. He was taken apart by Gillespie. Ian Bell did not contribute much. Kevin Peterson, 71 of 76. Third innings in his career.
Really. Okay.
Andrew Flintoff, that partnership with Andrew Flintoff was memorable. 68 of 62 by Andrew Flintoff. Some hits. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Six
And
boundaries,
we
five
not
sixes.
started the messages from this my second test match.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It was amazing to see the way Andrew Flintoff and Peterson complemented each other. So Flintoff found his form and he found his rhythm. Grant Jones this time could not contribute much, but again, Ashley Giles, Matthew Hogarth, Steve Harmison, and Simon Jones contributed little to that total of 407. And in wickets column, Shane Warne was again the highest one, 4 wickets. Kasparovich took 3 wickets, but it was very expensive though. This bowling card will tell you that England were kind of following baseball back then as well, because 407 for 10 in 79.2 overs, 5.13 runs per over. Back then in 2005 in Test cricket, just imagine.
Hmm.
Before the second
That's
new ball was
interesting.
even taken, just imagine.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
And
So,
Sean Tate played that match, I believe, right? Sean Tate, did he play?
no, Shonted did not play this test match. Shonted was not a part
Short
of this
test,
game.
I believe.
He was part of this in the subsequent test matches. We'll talk about that. Australia in
Hmm.
reply got out for 308. They were 100 runs less. Justin Langer played really well. He was trapped in front by Simon Jones later in the innings, 82 of 154. Matthew Hayden was cleaned up by Hogarth in the first innings itself. He was caught behind. He was caught in the slips. I remember that dismissal. He tried to throw his hands and was a beautiful delivery for Matthew Hogarth. Ricky Ponting contributed better this time. He just found his rhythm a bit. 61 of 76. And he was caught by Vaughan at 61. And Damon Martin was run out by Vaughan 20 for 18. So Damon Martin gave us blistering start to his innings but could not convert.
Yeah.
And
What a
Michael,
batsman, David Martin.
yeah, a beautiful batsman for number 4. He contributed
Yeah.
so much for
The
Australian
perfect
cricket.
number four.
Yeah, the perfect number 4. And Michael Clark, 40 for 68, was taken by Grant Jones. It was a beautiful delivery. That's what I was talking about. Bowling from over the wicket, pitched in the rough, and ball just turned a bit and took the outside edge of Michael Clark's bat, and he was taken apart.
Yes.
And Flintoff took out Simon Katich. Adam Gilchrist had a unbeaten innings of 49. He played well. Shane Warne was cleaned up by Giles. A beautiful delivery from him. Brett Lee was gone for 6 for 10. Jason Gillespie was again trapped in front by Flintoff and Michael Kasovich could not contribute. He was gone in the first ball itself. So there was a huge lead. So to come back in this game, Australia had to bowl well, and so they did. They bowled exceptionally well.
They did bowl well.
And who bowled well? Binga. Brett Lee joined the party.
Absolutely.
Brett Lee
Yes.
joined the party. He cleaned up Marcus Trescothick. He was caught behind for 21 of 38. Matthew Hogarth came as a night watchman. Matthew Hogarth was taken apart by Lee. Michael Vaughan was clean bowled by Lee. And Andrew Strauss, yes, as we were talking about, was cleaned up by Shane
Yeah.
Warne,
That
trying to leave it like
leaving the
that.
ball.
And
Yeah.
and he was just pitched in the rough, hit a puff of dust and just turned square, hit the leg stump from pitching way outside the wide line of one days, I believe. He pitched way outside of and just turned out. Very close to the ball of the century. Very close.
Yeah,
Second,
we didn't get to witness the ball of the century, but for us, this is the ball of the century because we are the memories of that ball is very vivid in our brains.
yeah. A ball which came close to that much of turn uh,
Hmm.
was the 2018 dismissal of KL Rahul by Adil Rashid. It was very close. The ball turned very much similarly. Pitched outside leg. KL Rahul tried to
Hmm.
move it towards the fine leg. The ball turned square and it hit the off stump, which is the leg stump for a left-hand batsman. So it was very similar dismissal, but no way near the class of Shane Warne though Adil Rashid. But yeah,
Yeah, no,
the delivery was close. The delivery was the same ball also hit the rough, so it turned. But that was an oval, by the way. So yeah, Ian Bell was cleaned up by Vaughan, was caught behind. Kevin Peterson was also caught behind by Shane Warne. Some good bowling, just on 24-35 though. Andrew Flintoff played a counter-attacking innings of 73 of 86. He was cleaned up by Shane Warne, a beautiful delivery. Grant Jones was cleaned up for 9 for 19 by Brett Lee, was dismissed. Ashley Giles was dismissed by Vaughan, and Steve Harmison was dismissed by Vaughan. So Vaughan took 6 wickets in this innings with an economy of 1.99, and Brett Lee took 4 wickets for 82. So it was a target, an achievable target for Australia in the fourth innings. And they started off decently. Justin Langer and Matthew Hayden started off decently, but could not convert their starts. Justin Lango was cleaned up by Flintoff. Matthew Hayden was caught behind in the slips by Simon Jones. Ricky Ponting could not continue. He got out for a duck. Damien Martin could not convert his start. He was dismissed by Hogarth. Michael Clark was dismissed by Stephen Harmison. A beautiful delivery, pitched and nipped in. Beautiful ball.
I
Simon
think
Catty.
Shane was stuck around, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Shane Warne.
yeah,
Shane Warne stuck around in the
yeah.
teams.
Shane Warne
He
stuck
got
around in
58.
the end. Yeah, because lower order was stuck around because everyone was getting dismissed left, right, and center.
Yeah, yeah.
Adam Gilchrist was dismissed by Ashley Giles. Jason Gillespie was dismissed by Flintoff in front, trapped in front, and Shane Warne and Brett Lee had a beautiful, beautiful partnership. Uh, and then I remember the dismissal of Shane Warne. He played well, and then he tried to flick it or hook it towards fine leg, and then he stepped on the off
Hmm.
stump, I believe. This was a dismissal
Yeah.
which I remember of Shane Warne. He stepped on the off stump and
Mhm.
he was dismissed that way. And then the
And
last
and
wicket
he was
part,
a very heavy man at that point of time.
yeah, it was very unfortunate though. And then the last wicket partnership of Brett Lee and Michael Kasparovich.
Oh man, the partnership which is very kind of it's stuck in our brains.
Yeah.
That
And then,
that phase.
yeah, that phase they were taking
Huh?
singles left, right, and center, ones, twos, one, twos, getting closer and closer and closer and closer. I'll just
Yeah,
tell
man,
you
it
the
was
last week. I'll tell you,
9:30 or 10 p.m. India time at that point of time in 2005. August month was the match in August month.
yeah, August 4th. August 4th.
Uh, August. I think I was getting closer to my midterm or my first round test or something,
Yeah.
and I had to study. Obviously, I didn't study. I was busy watching these matches.
Yeah. Amazing memories,
Completed
man.
school and just planning to watch these matches.
Yeah. And I'll tell you why it was frustrating for England because Clark was dismissed when Australia was 175 for 8. Then Shane
Hmm.
Warne was dismissed at 220 for 9. So from 220 they went to 279. So a 50 for 60 run partnership, 59 run partnership there. The last wicket partnership will
Hmm.
get closer and closer and closer. It was very unfortunate
Yeah.
dismissal as you spoke about. We have spoke about multiple times already now. The ball was a short delivery. And who was the bowler? Let me see. It was Stephen Harmison.
Amazon.
Stephen Harmison.
Amazon.
Well, a short ball, and Michael Kasparovich tried to evade it, and he just took a glove. And Graham Jones dived in the leg side. I remember the dismissal. It was so unfortunate. Bradley and they fought, and Bradley and both crashed onto the pitch. And this is the picture which you can see behind me. A beautiful moment for spirit
And
of
I can
cricket.
remember the celebration of Michael Vaughan running towards his teammates and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, very clear picture from my childhood. That thing.
Yup, yup, yup. A beautiful memory for
And
that game.
this is the same picture if you played the cricket game, right?
Yup.
Uh, oh 07. This is what you get with the CD.
Yes.
You get this card cricket 07 picture.
Yes, exactly. You get the same
Mm.
picture. Yep, in that thing in that game. Yeah,
Same,
this is the
same.
picture which they. That's a beautiful moment,
Yeah,
right? It's a moment for a spirit of cricket. This is what the game is all about. You win some, you lose some, but this is what stands out.
mm,
You respect each other as rivals. They're not your enemies, and you just keep the game above everything else. That's what matters.
exactly. It was a very hard fought series, but I would say nothing drastic happened with regard to the fights between the players and everything. I think it was a series spreading good spirits, to be honest. But
Yep,
it was very hard for them. Yeah.
yep. So now, coming to the third test match, which was played at Old Trafford. This was a drawn match, though. It
Mm.
was a high-scoring game.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
High
any
scoring
memories?
game drawn.
Yes. Any memories of this third game for you?
Memories of this third game. Let me recollect some memories, man. The second test, obviously, it's in my memory. I think England scored 404 to begin with, if I'm not wrong.
444. You're very close. Yep.
Ah, 444. I remember the first innings of England when they scored 444. I remember Simon Jones swinging it around, swinging his bat around at
Yep.
the end of the innings. That is one memory I have over this match. And did Michael Vaughan score 100?
Yeah, Michael Vaughan scored 166 of 215. You're absolutely right. So your
Very
memory is
good
very
man.
sharp. It's better than mine. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
congratulations.
That series, man. How can I forget that series?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Michael Vaughan
So
and
I will just
yeah,
like to
even
because
after
you've given the right answer. Here is your Ashes gift. Ashes trophy for you.
even after 20 years, I remember those.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. So yeah, as we were talking about, now we are moving into scores. 444 all out England. Marcus Trescothick scored 63. He was cleaned up by Vaughan. Brett Lee, he was taken. He was dismissed. He was caught behind. Andrew Strauss was cleaned up by Brett Lee. I can imagine it must have been a beautiful in swinger from Brett Lee.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
Michael Vaughan scored 166. And he was taken by the part timer Salmon Catich. Good,
Yeah.
beautiful batting
And one of
display.
those rare test hundreds by Michael Vaughan. He didn't score many.
Yeah.
Very rare hundreds.
And a Cheteshwar Pujara like innings from Ian Bell. 59 of 155 balls with a strike rate of 38. He was caught behind
Mm.
against the bowling of Brett Lee. Kevin
Ian
Peterson.
Bell was very new in his test career at that point of time. He
Yeah.
went on to become one of the great English batsmen. Very classy, looks very elegant.
Yeah.
But at that point of time, I think he was very new, if I'm not.
Yeah. And then Kevin Peterson 21 of 28. Good innings, but he could not convert it because he was slashing hard. And Matthew Howard was cleaned up by Lee again. Clean bowled.
Mm.
Andrew Flintoff and Grant Jones had a beautiful partnership between them. 46 of 67 for Andrew Flintoff. He was dismissed by Warren. Grant Jones was dismissed for 42 of 51 by Jason Gillespie, was cleaned up. And in reply, Australia scored 302.
Mm.
And
Michael Clark got a 50, if I'm not wrong.
uh, no, Michael Clark did not get a 50, but someone batted really well, as you just said. Can you guess? A very unexpected good innings from someone in this innings.
Matthew Hayden.
No, it was one of the bowlers. Shane Warne scored a 90.
Yeah. Shane Warne. 90, yeah. Correct.
Shane Warne
Shane
scored a
Warne.
90. Beautiful innings.
Shane Warne
11
scored
fours,
90.
1 6. He batted like a batsman. And Jason Gillespie
Australia
in
was
the.
struggling. Shane
Yep,
Warne managed to pull them over 300. Yeah, I know that.
yep. Because everyone were in their 20s and 30s. So from the first innings,
Hmm.
let me just recollect. Brett Lee took 4 wickets. Shane Warne took
Hmm.
4 wickets. And in the second innings of Australia, Simon Jones took 6 wickets. Ashley Giles took 3.
Man, Tony Jones was swinging it around in that series. Man. He was reverse swinging. And I
Yep.
remember Michael Clark getting bowled. Was it in that match? He left the ball and he got bowled.
Who?
Simon Jones. Michael Clark got bowled. A reverse swinging ball.
No, he was caught by Flintoff, 7 of 18. Might be in some other test though. He might have been bowled in
Maybe
some other
might be
test.
some other twist. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was clean bowled. And in reply, England. And by the way, this time Glenn McGrath was back in the third test match.
Yes.
Glenn McGrath was back in this test match and he
He
wreaked
got
havoc.
injured again for the next one.
Yep. And this just reminds me of Jasprit Bumrah. I don't know why. First test played,
Yeah.
second test did not play, third test played, fourth test did not play. Why is reminding me of Jasprit
No, I
Bumrah,
think
man?
if you have played all those five test matches, I think England could have won the series.
Probably. And England in the second
Something up.
innings, and England in the second innings, Andrew Strauss played really well. 106 of 158. Marcus Trescothick played well, and Ian Bell played really well. 65 of 103, and they declared for 280. And Glenn McGrath took 5 wickets in this innings.
Mm.
And in reply, Australia somehow saved this game. There
Australia somehow
was,
saved us, and I remember, and there was a celebration in the Australian mm, dressing room after they saved this match.
yeah,
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 and it was such a. I remember the commentary as well at that point of time.
hmm,
It was a very different moment, right? Australia was so used to winning.
yeah,
Australia celebrating after match being draw was such a rare sight
yeah,
at that point of time, and we all remember at that point of time we were supporting England for that
yeah,
series, and we wanted England to win that match desperately because
hmm,
Australia were the villains at that point of time, right?
yeah,
We didn't want Australia to win any game because
yeah,
Australia was very strong.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
whichever team they played, they used to beat them. So, fortunately and unfortunately, Australia managed to scrape through that
yeah,
match, and they managed to draw it.
yeah. And Ricky Ponting. This was the innings was all about Ricky Ponting. 156 of 275. Some of the shots he played, oh my god, those pulls,
Class
drives,
innings, man.
cuts. He was such a free
Yeah,
flowing
yeah.
batsman, right? Ricky Ponting was such a free flowing batsman. Just natural
Mm.
talent, man. This is he used to work really hard. I agree.
And did Ricky Ponting get run out in that game in
No,
that innings?
no. He was dismissed. He was called behind by against Stephen Harmison's bowling.
I think that must be the fifth test. He gets run out by a substitute fielder. He was very pissed off. He
Hmm,
went out very pissed off, and he kind of showed his back towards the England coach Duncan Fletcher at that point of
hmm,
time.
hmm.
I think it might be the fourth or fifth test match, maybe
Yeah.
not the third one.
Bretley and Glenn McGrath stuck out in the end, and they somehow saved the test match for them because time ran out for
Mm,
the game. So they somehow saved
correct.
this game, and it
Series
was
was tied at 1-1, right? After three
yeah.
games.
Series was now tied 1-1, and of course the man of the match was Ricky Ponting for this game.
Mm.
Now we slowly move on to the fourth test match in Nottingham, which decided the fate of the series.
Yes, England won.
England won. So any memories of this fourth one, the Nottingham one?
Uh, Kevin Peterson got 100.
No, it was not Kevin Peterson, but Andrew Flintoff
Andrew,
scored 100. Andrew Flintoff got 100.
Andrew Flintoff got 100. Yeah, Andrew Flintoff got 100, and he had a partnership with Kevin Peterson, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. And this is the
Yes.
test match which you were talking about, was the debut of one of the fastest bowlers in world cricket and one of the fastest bowlers of Australian cricket as
Mm.
well, Sean Taylor.
Mm.
He was not a bad debut though. He took 3 wickets for 97 at the economy of 4. It's not bad. Shane Warne took four wickets. And again, Grail McGrath skipped the fourth test match due to injury. He missed it.
Yeah, those are. McGrath was on in that series like Jasprit Bumrah.
And unfortunately, it was the reverse. For India, when Jasprit Bumrah was playing, India lost all those games in England. When
Mm.
Australia did not play Glenn McGrath, they lost the games. That's how it turned out to be.
Yeah,
Such a big
yeah.
impact for Glenn
And
McGrath.
the memory I have of that test match is obviously the Peterson and Flintoff partnership,
Yeah,
that magical partnership of theirs. And
yeah.
I did think Ricky Bonding got run out by a substitute fielder in this game. He went away pissed off. Can you just check if Ricky Bonding was
Yeah,
run out in
in
this
the
game?
first innings, it was not. He was trapped in front by Simon Jones. Because
Yeah.
England in starting scored 477, by the way. Brian Jones scored
Mm.
85. And notable
Mm.
contributions, Marcus Trescothick 65. And Michael
Mm.
Vaughan got 58. So he found his form a bit, Michael Vaughan, as the series progressed. Now, in the second innings, Australia were bundled out for 280, and this is where they lost the game because so much lead, if you give to the opposition team, it's very hard to come
Mm.
back. So no
Mm.
one contributed, no one, not a single good contribution. All got starts and faded away. Justin Langer got start, faded away. Michael Clark got faded away. 36 of 53 got dismissed. Simon Katich dismissed 45 of 66. Brett Lee tried a counter-attacking innings in the end, 47 of 44, but it was not much. Simon Jones again took a 5 for 44. Matthew Hogarth took 3 wickets. He's a beautiful bowler, Matthew Hogarth. I'm a big fan of that guy. Didn't used to swing the
Yeah,
ball
he's a
much.
beautiful person.
Didn't used to swing the ball much, but hit the areas really well.
Mm.
Bit like
And
bit like Stuart Broad. Was a kind of a
yeah,
Stuart Broad like
it's like
bowler. Yeah,
so fun. And I think a perfect kind of a foil for someone like a Steve Armisen, tall, hitting the deck hard.
yeah.
Steve
And
Armisen
Australia,
and Matthew Hogarth partnership was really, really
yeah,
good.
yeah. And
And they had the reverse swing of Simon Jones to kind of complement their partnership. So it
yeah,
was three very good quick bowlers England had, and three very different quick bowlers.
yeah.
Plus
So
Ashley Giles and Andrew Flintoff.
yeah. And in the second innings, Australia were actually were asked to follow on because they had dismissed so early, and they tried
Mm.
to salvage it. They tried to repeat the Kolkata test, but they failed. Justin Langer got a
Mm.
start, 61 of 112. Matthew Hayden again dismissed for 26.
Mm.
Ricky Ponting was run out in the second innings. You were right, was substitute.
Yes. But can you tell me who's the substitute fielder?
G.J. Pratt.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you where the controversy happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think one among the fast bowlers had bowled a very long spell and they were resting.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was this rule at that point of time where you could go and come back in whenever you
Mm-hmm.
want.
Mm-hmm.
Now the rules have changed. Whenever England fast bowler would bowl a long spell, they used to go and rest, and a fresh fielder used to come in and take those very important places. And the fielder would be a really young and a quick fielder.
Mm-hmm.
So Ricky Morning had a kind of problem with this idea
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning of the series. That run out, right, turned out to be a very important run out. If you see the clipping of that run out, the fielder is very quick to the ball and he just comes direct. He's very fresh and his legs are very quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that was one loophole which England definitely capitalized.
Mm-hmm. Very well explained. I think
And
this is a
he is
beautiful.
some county player, not in the original 15 squad.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a beautiful
Mm.
insight. Thank you for that because people
Sure.
will get an insight of what happened behind the scenes between for the dismissal. And Michael
I
Clark
think
and Sam.
by walking away, Ricky Bonding is kind of pointing towards Duncan Fletcher, I believe. He's
Yeah,
pointing towards England, with his bat.
just
That
like
was one of the heated moments of the series, if I remember correctly.
yeah, and that was just Ponting, right? Ponting was like that in his
Yeah,
initial days.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bonding was like that. Yeah, yeah.
And Michael Clark and Simon Katich tried very, very hard to save the test match. 56 of 170 for Michael Clark, Simon Katich 59 of 183. But once they were dismissed, Shane Warne's quick fire ratings of 45, Brett Lee's of 26 did not matter that much because they was already very much behind. So the target was
Yeah.
very less, 128. But Australia did put them in some trouble though. Mike Shane Warne took both the openers, Mike Marcus Scotty and Andrew Strauss. Warne was dismissed for a duck by Warne again. So top three was
Mm.
dismissed by Shane Warne. Ian Bell was taken off by Lee. Kevin Peterson was dismissed by Lee, 23 of 34. Andrew Flintoff was dismissed by Lee for 26 of 34. So this target was chased finally by Ashley Giles and Matthew Hogarth. So 129 for 7. So they did have them on the wires
Yeah.
in this game towards the end. But somehow they
Mm.
pulled through. Because the target was too less, they somehow pulled through, and that was the reason why
I
they
remember
almost,
actually their celebration. Something is bad
yeah.
when he
And
celebrated.
Andrew Flintoff was man of the match for this game. So,
Mm.
yeah, this was the game which almost sealed their fate at Trent
Mm.
Bridge. And now, coming to the final test match, it was a game which finished off everything. It was a boring test match. as per the game wise,
Yeah.
because nothing really happened because it was not going towards any result in oval, which usually happens. It's a flat track
Mm.
at oval.
The oval is usually a flat track at that point of time. Yeah. Now I think it is changed a bit, but yeah, at that point of time it was completely flat.
Yeah, and now for the fifth test match, the Sean Tate continued for the fifth test match. He played the fifth
Mm.
test as well.
Don't take control.
And Glenn McGrath was back for the fifth test match.
Mm. I think
And because,
Gillespie was dropped, if I'm not wrong. It was his
yeah,
last series.
Jason Gillespie
Mm.
was dropped.
He
And
was awful in that series.
yeah, England first innings, 373 all out. And guess who
Mm.
scored the 100 in that innings?
Is it Kevin Peterson
No, it was not
again?
Kevin Peterson. It was Andrew Strauss who scored
Oh,
129 of
Andrew
210.
Strauss.
Andrew
Ah.
Flintoff scored 72 of 115. Kevin Peterson was cleaned up by one for 14 only. So
Mm.
Shane Warne took 6 wickets. Glenn McGrath took 2 wickets. There's notable contributions. And in reply, Australia were very much close. 367 all out. This is a very strange looking scorecard. I'll tell you why. Because both the openers got hundreds. Justin Langer and Matthew Hayden. They finally came good in the final test match.
They finally came good in the final series, and Matthew Hayden saved his place in the team.
Yeah. But after that, no one contributed. Just see, when the second wicket fell, Ricky Ponting got out for 264 for 2. And then after the string of wickets from 264 for 2, they dismissed for 367 all out. So it was a collapse for
Mm.
Australia. And
That
who
was the
caused,
kind of series of having, unfortunately.
yeah, who initiated the collapse? Andrew Flintoff and Matthew Hoggart. 5 wickets
Yeah,
for Andrew
Andrew Flintoff.
Flintoff and 4 wickets for Matthew Hoggart. The all-rounder Andrew Flintoff just came alive.
Mm.
Second
Yeah.
innings of England, who scored the century this time? I think you were very close in the first innings. Now let's guess who scored the 100 in second
KP, is
innings.
that
Sorry?
KP?
Yeah,
KP, is that Kevin Peterson?
158 of 187. You were right. It was cleaned up
Yeah,
by
I
McGrath.
remember that innings correctly, man. 158. Oh, yeah, yeah, I do remember that innings.
Yeah,
Slog sweeping Shane Warne, smashing sixes of him, pulling the
exactly.
fast bowlers, pulling Bretley. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember it.
So Shane Warne took 6 wickets, and Glenn McGrath took three. And England were
Mm.
bundled out for 335. And then in the final innings, just bowled 4 balls, and the game was over.
Mm.
Stephen Harmison bowled four
The game
balls.
was done.
Yeah. And the game was drawn, and England took the Ashes.
England took the Ashes after 16 years, I believe, man.
Yeah.
16 years, I believe, England took the Ashes. And I remember the celebration, Michael Vaughan and team celebrating with the Ashes, right? I still
Yeah.
remember it is a very vivid childhood memory I have. And
Yeah.
I did watch a presentation also, I believe, at that point of time
Yeah.
in 2005.
Yeah.
The match was telecasted in ESPN Star.
Yeah.
There was no Star Sports 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at that point of time. It was
Yep.
just ESPN was one channel and Star Sports was one channel,
Mm-hmm.
and both of them used to work together. The
Yep.
match was, I think, in ESPN or Star Sports. I don't remember correctly,
Yep.
but yeah, the commentary, everything was Sky Sports one, but we were getting telecasted in ESPN or Star Sports. I do remember that.
Yeah.
And the timing for those games were the turning point here, because it was in a very good viewing kind of a time zone for us,
Mm-hmm.
because if the match starts at 3:30 and ends at 10:30. It's a prime time uh, TV viewing
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
scenario, right? It is
Yep.
not like it starts at 9:30 and completes at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
So when the matches happen in England, we tend to
Mm-hmm.
have good memories, because for the viewing also it is very kind of it adjusts to our kind of schedule in the day.
Exactly.
And that's why I love watching matches in England. And if I'm not wrong, Shane Warne was really kind of harassed by the English supporters in that series. And
Yep.
if I'm not wrong, whenever Shane Warne used to field in the team, he was kind of given a rough treatment by the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was taunted about his wife and his divorce and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I just remember every bit of that series, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I remember that I think there used to be a show, I believe, in Star Sports after
Mm-hmm.
the series completes.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sports Center, you remember?
Yep.
Sports Center?
Yep. Yep. I remember. I remember. I remember. Yeah.
In Sports Center, I remember they showing the clippings of the England team on the bus
Yeah.
with the ashes and kind of doing a parade and everything in London, I
Yes.
believe.
Yes. 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 I
And
remember. Yeah.
those visuals are very with champagne bottle in hand and
Mm-hmm.
the whole
Mm-hmm.
England team doing that
Mm-hmm.
parade on the bus. It was
Mm-hmm.
actually showed in Sports Center at that point of
Yep.
time.
Yep. Yep.
And I remember it was a new show.
Mm-hmm.
I think, it was a very great childhood memory, man. I had a
Yep.
great time kind of revisiting that great series. We were very, very young at that point of time.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of made us fall in love with cricket at that point of time, to be honest.
Yep. Yep. So great childhood memories.
Mm.
Now we move on
And
to.
actually, after the lose, that was very happy.
Yeah, because 2005 was actually not good for Australia. They lost to Bangladesh in one ODI, I believe. I remember that game.
That one day game, oh my god, the tri series, the
Yeah.
Bangladesh, my Ashraful getting 100.
Yes, Ashraf Ali getting 100 and beating Australia was big,
Oh
big
my god,
news
I
that time.
remember that game as well.
So
That
that,
was a great cricket season, man.
yeah, a great, great, great cricket season. Very
The only
unforgettable
thing
season.
is we didn't study and we were just busy watching matches.
Yeah, true, true, true. Guilty as charged. So now
Yeah.
we move on to
Then if we had
2007.
studied at that point of time, it wouldn't have made any difference. No.
Yeah.
Would it have been made any difference studying that 1 or 2 hours extra? We don't even have the mass cards. I've shown it somewhere. I think it's in the garbage.
Yeah, probably it wouldn't have. So yeah,
Yeah.
moving on to
Mm.
the next series, the
Mm.
2007 and 2008 tour of Australia, England touring Australia, 2006-7. Yeah,
Australia.
yeah, 2006-7. Sorry, I was wrong. 2006,
Mm.
2007. So this was the new Ashes, which marked the debut of. Was not the debut. It was kind of a comeback for Jimmy Anderson, because Jimmy Anderson debuted in the year of 2003. He came back into this
Mm.
side in 2007, and
Mm.
it was kind of a revenge mode for Australia. Australia wanted revenge from England because they were humiliated for the first time in England, and they did. First test at
They did
Gabba,
in
Brisbane,
great fashion.
great fashion. Ricky
They
Pont,
bundled the England out.
yeah, they just dismissed them all around. They lost the series 5-0,
Yeah, man.
England.
I remember that series as well in Australia. And this series kind of got us in love with the Australian
I'll
grounds
tell you
and
why.
Australian.
Because this was probably the end of one of the generations. Because Glenn McGrath and Shane Warne both
Mm,
retired after this series.
correct, correct,
So
correct.
this was a final.
Matthew
Final.
Hayden is done? Matthew Hayden also
Matthew
retired,
Eden
right?
also retired. Yeah, Matthew Eden also retired.
Mm.
Justin Langer was still continuing, I believe.
Okay.
Adam Gilchrist retired
Justin
in the
Langer is
Border
done.
Gavaskar Trophy next year.
Yeah. Next year. Adam
Yeah,
Gilchrist is retired next year. I remember Matthew Hayden and Justin Langer walking off together to the fifth test, and Justin Langer and Matthew Hayden and Shane Warne and Glenn McGrath as well walking off after the fifth test after retiring. I think that was the end of a generation of Australian cricketers. You know.
yep, 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 yep. So
Mm.
Australia, like Australia, 602 for 9 first innings. Justin Langer 82, Ricky Ponting 196, Michael Hussey came into the squad at the age of 30 at that time.
Mm.
The middle order batsman
Nicholas was a
86.
newbie.
Yeah, he was a newbie at
Nicholas was
30.
a newbie.
Yeah.
30, 30. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He
And
had a Bradman like start to his career, I think. His average was about 100 or something for a long
yeah,
period of
Andrew Flintoff did well though at Gaba, 4 for 99, but
time.
other bowlers struggled a lot. James Anderson, Matthew Hawkart, Steve Harmison all struggled. And in reply, Australia were in berserk mode. And Stuart Clark was playing around this time, who also played against India in the Border Gavaskar Trophy a year later.
Stuart Clark, was he there in the 2006 2007 Ashes? I don't
Yes,
remember.
he was there. He took 3 wickets. And Glenn McGrath
Ah,
took 6 wickets and Brett Lee took 1 wicket. They bundled,
Gillespie was done by that time. Gillespie was
yeah.
done.
So
Mm.
Australia bundled out England for 157.
Mm.
Only notable contribution was Ian Bell's 50 at number 3 because Michael Vaughan had retired.
Michael Vaughan was gone. Yeah.
Paul Collingwood came into the squad, but no such contributions. 5 of 13.
Mm. And what was the England seam attack like in 2007?
I'll just read it out. And read it out. Steve Harmison, Matthew Hogarth, James Anderson, Andrew Flintoff.
I think it was the same bowling attack except for Simon Jones, who was injured.
Yup.
He tore his ankle and he was never the same bowler again.
True.
Right?
And in the second innings, Australia declared for 202 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Langer scored 100. And then in reply, England were bundled out. England were bundled out for 370.
Completely one-sided. Man.
Yeah, Paul Collingwood and Kevin Peterson tried their best 96 and 92 respectively, but no other contributions as such. And in bowling department, Shane Warne and Stuart Clark took 4 wickets each. So that
Mm.
was that. And the man of the match was Ricky Ponting because of the 196 he scored in the first innings.
Would you go on to say this is one of the most one-sided series we ever had? Five-match series?
I will say no, because the series which is coming up will be much more one sided. The 2013-2014 series. They
The
claim no win.
2013-2014 series.
Yup,
The
it was in
Michael
Australia.
Clark.
Yup, it was horrible. That series, England just surrendered. We'll just talk about that later. We'll talk about that later
No,
once the
I
series comes
feel
up.
this series was most horrible, more horrible than that.
Yeah, I am saying the 2013 series was more horrible than this one.
Yeah,
We'll
I
discuss that and
feel
we'll let.
this might be most horrible.
No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. When we'll talk about it, we'll just bring it up. The second test match
Mm.
was at Adelaide Oval, and again Ricky Ponting was the man of the match. Why? England batted first. Oh, England batted first, and Kevin Peterson got 158. Paul Collingwood
Mm.
got double hundred. So these two were in good nick in that series.
I remember Australia won this after England scored 500 plus, right, in the first innings.
Exactly, that's what.
Yeah,
And
complete
Australia were behind.
demoralization.
Australia were
Oh.
behind in that game because Australia scored 513 and Ricky
Mm.
Ponting scored 142. Michael Clark scored 124. Michael Hussey scored 91.
Mm.
And they were 513 all out. In bowling department, Matthew Hogarth took 7 wickets, by the way.
Mm.
And for
7 wickets.
Australia, Stuart Clark took 3 wickets in the first innings. In the second innings, England just surrendered themselves, 129 all out. And guess who
Mm.
was the hero? Shane Warne, 4 wickets for 49.
Mm.
Shane Warne, who
And
ran
did
through
he
this
get a
attack.
700 test wicket in the first test?
I'm not sure about it. I don't remember clearly, but this was a series probably where he got the 700th wicket, of course, because this is
It
series he
was
retired.
serious. I don't remember if it was the first match or the second match.
Yeah, probably in one of those games because he took 708, right? So probably in one of
It
those
was
games
a
only.
Melbourne test, man. It was in a Melbourne test.
So 168 for 4. Australia chased it down with 6 wickets to spare. Michael Hussey was unbeaten again,
Hmm.
61 of 66. So they took the game. After scoring
Hmm.
551, just imagine you losing the game. It's horrible.
Hmm. It's
Horrible.
horrible, man. It's horrible.
And
And
then the
Indian teams overall completely down. Down.
yep, yep. I mean, very much similar to the Adelaide Test match of 2003, where India won.
Mm.
Very similar
Mm.
scores, and then Australia getting bundled out for 196, and then India chasing
Mm.
233. It was kind of similar. So yeah,
Not taking
coming
anything away from India, but Glenn McGrath and Shane Warne didn't play that series.
yeah, maybe that was the reason why we won.
That's 25% of the Australian team.
Yeah,
But not taking anything away from India, just making
yeah,
my point. Glenn
yep,
McGrath and
yep,
Shane
yep.
Warne didn't play that.
Yeah, not taking away anything because if you've seen the trends in those years, the test matches which they were not a part of, Australia were significantly behind in those games. You can clearly see by the results and the scorecards as well. Very much
You
evident.
can't say it was focus, right?
Yeah.
Whenever both of them were not there, I think
Hmm.
Australia was not
Exactly.
the same team.
Never the
Mm.
same team. So coming to
Yeah, I
this.
remember those were Stuart McGill, obviously
Hmm.
not as consistent as Shane Warne,
Hmm.
Brad Williams, and all those kind of people. I
Yeah.
think, yeah. So, those two absent, those two being absent, kind of has an impact on the Australian team.
True. True. Now coming to the Walker Test match, third Test match. Australia in the first innings were bundled out for 244, so it was a good wicket to bowl. And Monty Python played this Test match and took 5 wickets at Waka. That left arm spinner which ended careers of Indian batsmen. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I just lost you for a bit. Now you're back. Now you're back.
Yep. So coming to the Waka Test match, Australia were bundled out for 244.
And Veka, come on, man, you have to give the introduction of this venue before we start off talking about this game. Veka, what
Waka Perth.
a
What
iconic.
iconic venue. What an iconic venue.
Yeah.
Sadly, but not sadly because now it's getting renovated though. It's getting renovated now. So now it's the Perth Test matches nowadays are played at a stadium which is just on the other side of the river, in at the
Of
Optus
this.
Stadium. Very much similar conditions because the soil and the ground is the same, but still not the same feel, right? Because
Still not the same feel.
Waka is
Yeah,
Waka.
still not the same.
Waka is Waka.
Veka is back.
And I'll tell you, I think it was very unfortunate. By the end of the tenure of Waka, where the test matches were being played, it started to turn a little flatter towards the
Hmm.
end of its tenure. But in the initial days, it was one of the bounciest, one of the fastest wickets in Australia. Very tough to bat
Correct.
initially.
Correct.
Someone who is very new, who
Hmm.
is front foot, whose game is based on front foot game, they used to struggle a lot at Perth. One who was very
Yeah,
much
they used to
dominant.
be a big up fan. Come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So on day one, Australia getting bundled out for 244 and Monty Python taking 5 wickets has to tell you something about the wicket. This was a pitch which was conclusive to spin bowling.
Hmm. Hmm.
And guess who played this test match? Sajid Mahmood, that fast bowler from England.
Oh my God. Those people.
Yup, Sajid Mahmood, who was a part of the 2007 series, right? If I remember correctly, for India England series, he was playing that game. I remember that series. He was part of it.
Sajid Mahmood, yeah, he was there. He had come to India as well when England toured India in 2006.
Yeah.
Hmm. He was there. He was there.
And England, I have to tell you, man, England, I am very much disappointed with England because 244 all out. England were bundled out. Uh, just give me a moment, okay? I'm just getting a call.
Sure, sure, no problem. Please take it in.
হ্যাঁ বল হ্যাঁ ঘরে আছি বল হ্যাঁ হুম ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে একদম গামছা ইয়ে করে দেবো তোর গামছা গামছা করে দেবো পুরো দিয়ে দেবো তোর দুটো যে জামা প্যান্ট ছিল ওটাও কি করে দেবো নাকি যে ইয়ে তো দুটো ইয়ে তোর একটা জামা একটা প্যান্ট যেটা তো রাখা ছিল প্লাস্টিকের মধ্যে রাখা হ্যাঁ কি আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ, ইলাস্টিক ওয়ালা প্যান্ট তো তোর আবার, হ্যাঁ এটাও তো ব্যাপার। হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা এমনি মেলে দেবো জাস্ট। হ্যাঁ জল দিয়ে ধুয়ে এরকম মেলে দেবো, ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে, হুম। গরম জল, হ্যাঁ 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 হ্যাঁ, মরে যাবে ওটা। ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে। তারপর দিয়ে ইয়ে করে দাও। এখন তো বিকেলে কিছু বেরোয়নি, আমি আরেকবার রাত্রেবেলা দেবো, আরেকবার স্প্রে দেবো দিয়ে কালকে, কালকে সকালে তো ইয়ে মারবো, তো তুই কি ইয়ে তো পাতবো চাদরটা, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ। ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে। হুম হুম হুম। Sorry for the interruption, man. Calls can come
No
sometime.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
No problem.
So yeah, coming back to the test match, England. I'm disappointed with England, as I was saying, because England were bundled out for 215. Not much of a difference. Kevin Peterson scored 70, and Andrew Simons plays this test match, by the way. Andrew Simons plays
Mm.
this test match. May his soul rest in peace. May Shane Warne's soul rest in peace as well. We never thought
So very
that
unfortunate.
we never thought that when we were discussing this podcast, when we are discussing this podcast now, they won't be here. We can't imagine these two
Yeah,
people are not here with
totally.
us anymore. It's very unfortunate the
Yeah,
way they have gone, and
very
may the
unfortunate.
souls rest in peace, man. I'm very, very sad, very, very sad
Very
for the
young as
families.
well, very unfortunate. May their souls rest in peace.
Yep, yep, yep. So, yep, coming back to discussion, 215 all out, England, and everyone contributed in the bowling attack. Everyone, from Andrew Salmons, Shane Warne, Stuart Clark, Glenn McGrath, Brett Lee, everyone contributed. In the second innings, Australia just took the game away from England. Matthew Hayden scored 92, Ricky Ponting scored 75, Michael Hussey scored 100, Michael Clark scored 100, Adam Gilchrist scored 102 of 59 deliveries.
I remember that innings. Oh my god. He was smashing it into the crowd on the leg side, man. Oh god, what a innings that was. I
Yeah,
was again young, some sixth standard or seventh
yeah,
standard.
of course.
I think I from school, I believe, on that day, and I remember staying at home
Yeah,
and watching that. Australia was very, very comfortable by the time
yeah,
Adam Gilchrist had come off the bat.
yeah.
He had the complete license,
Hmm.
and he was towards the fag end of his career, if I'm not wrong. Adam Gilchrist at that point of time,
Hmm.
he had achieved a lot,
Yeah,
and I think he was under pressure, if I'm not wrong, in that inning. He just came out there with free mind, and
yeah.
he just smashed it,
Went
man.
berserk.
On that
Went berserk.
went berserk, yeah,
I mean,
just
this
went berserk.
is the quality with Adam Gilchrist which I remember fondly. He was a beautiful striker of the ball. He used to contact the ball very early, bit like Rohit Sharma.
Hmm.
This, I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not comparing these guys. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm just talking about
Not a
some.
I understand. He's not a brute force like Chris Gale or
Yeah,
someone, but a timer.
I'm talking
Hmm.
about something which is a characteristic which these two guys have been similar. I'm not comparing these two guys at all. It's just a characteristic which is similar. Is that taking the ball early is a very, very
Hmm.
important characteristic which very few people are successful about. Adam Gilchrist was one of them. He used to have ample time in himself, that he could position himself
Hmm.
so well that he could play shots all around the park at will. His balance was the biggest strength of his batting. While pulling the ball, he was never off balance. The weight transfer on the balls while pulling and cutting was awesome. And I remember his best shot, which I liked a lot, was his cut shots and pulls as well.
Yeah.
This was his favorite shots, which I liked a lot. It was the strength of Adam Gilchrist as batsman, and
Hmm.
which he exhibited in this innings as well. 102 of 59. Oh my god!
And he was equally aggressive versus spin and pace both. He could tear
Yeah,
apart the fast bowlers.
exactly. He was a
Hmm.
very good player of spin and pace
And
equally. That was the strength of Adam
his
Gilchrist.
strike rate was very high in the 70s, I believe.
Yeah. And in this series, Sir Alistair Cook also played. It was probably it was one of his initial years as an international cricketer.
Yeah,
He
it was
replaced.
his initial years. He made
He
his
re-
debut in the India series in
yeah,
2006. And I remember seeing him very young, Alistair Cook.
and he scored 100 in his fourth innings of England, which England lost. Ian Bell
Yeah,
scored 87.
he
Kevin
did
Peterson
so.
scored 60, and Andrew
Mm.
Flintoff scored a 50 as well. But this was the end.
Mm.
Australia won this
Mm.
game as well. Easy win. Michael Hussey was man of the match. And then again, it was a humiliation at MCG for England.
And that was a game where Shane Warne took his 700 test wicket, if I'm not wrong. The first bowler ever to take 700
Yes,
wickets.
yes. Because England
After
went,
that, Shane Warne retired and Murali took over the highest
yeah.
wicket taker.
Because then in the first innings, England were bundled out for 159, not able to adjust to the Melbourne drop in pitch at all.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
all Brett Lee, Glenn McGrath, Stuart Clark, Andrew Salmons, Shane Warne played. Shane Warne took 5 wickets in this innings. And
Hmm.
Australia in reply scored 419. Matthew Hayden scored 153. Andrew Salmon scored 156. And in between, no one scored nothing. No
And
one
how
scored
good
nothing.
was Matthew Hyde in his final series as an Australian player?
Yeah, this was kind of a redemption for him because 2005 didn't go well for him, right? So it was a
Yeah, he didn't
redemption
go.
series for
And
Matthew Hayden.
most of these players in in this series, right? They were waiting for this series.
Yeah, they were looking because they had to point to
Yeah.
prove, right? Australia, are the world beaters. How can we lose to England in England like that? So that was kind of a
Yeah.
point to prove that no, we are the world beaters. We can beat anyone when we want, and we can demolish
Hmm.
them. They did. They did. They kept their word. And Sajid Mahmood took 4 wickets though,
Hmm.
and was in vain though because England in the second innings got all out for 161. No, as such a fight, and Chris Reed was the wicket keeper at that time. No, Grant Jones was not there.
Oh, Chris Reed. Do you know about Chris Reed?
Yeah, I
He
know.
was a wicketkeeper when Lara scored his 400 as well.
Yep, and he was the wicket keeper in that bicentenary game as well. Chris Reed.
Ah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah.
when in 2014 when Tendulkar scored 44.
Correct, correct.
Yep,
He was a wicketkeeper. Chris Reed was a wicketkeeper.
yep. And Australia won this game by innings, and Shane Warne was rightfully adjudged as the man of the match. And then comes the final test match, SCG. England batting first, got all out for 291. Andrew Flintoff and Ian Bell played well, 71 and 89 respectively.
Ian Bell had a very good series.
Yeah, yeah,
Very good series.
yeah. Ian Bell
Yeah.
scored 71 and Andrew Flintoff scored 89. Andrew Flintoff also had a good series, by the way.
Mm.
And Glenn McGrath, Brett Lee, Stuart Clark took 3 wickets each. And in reply, Australia were bundled out for 393. No one scored 100 though, but Shane Warne again in his final test match showed what he is with the
And
bat.
this
71 of 65.
71. Oh my God. Yeah. What a cricketer, man.
What a cricketer. What a rock star. What a rock star Shane Warne was.
Excellent.
Adam Gilchrist
Yeah.
scored 62. Andrew Salmon scored 48. But this is just showed that what depth Australia had. The bowlers could bat and bat well.
Hmm.
Jason Gillespie, who was getting trapped like Ishant Sharma in Ashes 2005, was scoring double hundreds against Bangladesh, man. So that shows that this team,
Yeah.
everyone knew how to hold a bat. Unlike some
Everyone knew
team
how
which
to
we
hold
know,
back.
unlike some team which we know is very close to us, which is playing a test match where I live just 25 kilometers away from me right now as we are recording this podcast. A test match between India and West Indies is going on, and there is one team which cannot hold a bat in the lower order, and we know which team we're talking
Yeah.
about. So
There are
yeah,
spinners who can bat, but fast bowlers can't bat.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, coming back to this test match, England were bundled out for 147 in reply. In the second innings, no big contributions. Ian Bell 28, Kevin Peterson 29. So everyone had given up by then. Fifth test match, at that time they're already mentally checked out. Just want to go
Yeah.
home. And Shane,
They're dreaming of the plane back to London.
yeah. And this was the final test wicket of Shane Warne. 6 overs, one maiden, 23 runs, and 1 wicket. And Brett Lee, Glenn McGrath, and Stuart Clark took 3 and 2 wickets each. And in reply,
Hmm.
Australia chased down the 46 runs with no wickets to lose. They did not lose a single wicket. And as you said, that they both walked away together because they both chased it down the
Hmm. They both walked
final
away
two.
together
Yeah,
because they had a partnership together, a small little partnership, and I think it was a very emotional moment, man. If I remember
Yeah,
it correctly,
yeah,
I think I saw it live. I don't remember it correctly.
yeah.
Both were in tears, I believe.
Hmm.
Their last series playing together.
Yeah.
Very emotional moment for both of them.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I think one of the great spectacle in my childhood when
Yeah,
that series was completely whitewashed, 5-0.
exactly, exactly. The completely
And
whitewashed.
I have got a roller cola as well, celebrating nostalgic moments. You can see it in this.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I can see, I can see. Thank you for sharing with us. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, 5-0, 5-0. So Australia got the revenge. Now, 2 years
This
later,
is what
England
I'm
had a
thinking. What a end of what an era. What
yeah,
an
what
era.
an era. So now we are moving on to the next Ashes, which was in England again 4 years later,
Huh?
2009 Ashes. Now this one, England won the
Yeah.
Ashes again, 2-1.
England reclaimed the Ashes, right? 2009.
Yup, England reclaimed the Ashes 2-1.
It was obviously a depleted Australian team compared to the previous ones.
Yup.
Yeah. Mm.
So I'll tell you
I
what
remember
changed in the teams. For 2000,
Marcus North team. Marcus North and all those kind
yeah,
of people were there in.
no Glenn McGrath,
Correct,
no Shane Warne, no Matthew Hayden, no Adam
correct.
Gilchrist. So generation was leaving. Only Ricky Ponting was that one
Mm.
branch of that tree which was
Mm.
gone. So now with the England squad, the changes were Matt Pryor came into the scene. Ravi Bopara was playing at number three.
Very good wicketkeeper batsman, man. Matt Pryor.
Yeah, very, and he contributed for England for a long, long time. Graham Swan came in, a beautiful off spinner, came for England,
Mm.
and Stuart Broad came into the scene for Test cricket. James Anderson and Stuart Broad then dominated England cricket for more than a decade
Mm.
since
Great,
then.
great, great.
So yeah, coming to the first Test match, which was played at
And
Cardiff.
England put together a very good batting lineup as well at that point of time. If
Yep,
you remember,
yep.
they had all these people coming together. I think Jonathan Trott was he there?
Jonathan Trott did not play this first Test match though. He did not play the first Test match, but
Was he there in the series?
I'll have to check. I'll have to check the squads. I'll just bring it up. Uh, no, Jonathan Trott did not come in yet.
I think it was from 2010 or 2011 onwards, Jonathan. But
I'll just
Tom
check the
Collingwood
other
was
games.
there.
I'll check the other games and then we'll get to know. But in the first innings, this was the first Test match which was played at Sophia Gardens at Cardiff. It was a beautiful ground. The
Cardiff.
Cardiff, yeah, a beautiful
Yeah,
ground.
I remember.
Yep. So here, England scored 435. No one got 100, but everyone contributed. Paul Collingwood, Kevin Peterson, Matt Pryor, Andrew Flintoff, James Anderson. This was probably the final time we saw Andrew Flintoff playing for England in this series.
Final series of End of Flintoff. Yes, correct.
And in the bowling attack, see the major shift. Mitchell Johnson, Ben Hilfenhaus, Peter Siddle, Nathan Horrocks, Michael Clark, Simon Catich.
Nowhere as good as the 2007 attack, and it was not the same Mitchell Johnson of 2014-13.
Yeah, exactly.
It was not that Mitchell Johnson.
He had just burst onto the scene and he was bowling 130s, 140s, but it was not that lethal back then. Mitchell Johnson.
Yeah, not that 2013
Yeah,
Mitchell Johnson.
exactly.
13-14 Johnson, not that Johnson.
So, in reply, Australia, the batting lineup seemed like they did not leave the legacy. The legacy was continuing, and I just see one name, and may his soul rest in peace as well. Philip Hughes played in these Ashes, 2009. Very
Yeah,
unfortunate way to go.
definitely.
A bouncer from Sean Abbott trying to hook and
Very unfortunate.
just burst his artery and could not survive. He was in coma for 3 days, but he could not survive that incident.
2013, I remember.
Yeah, 2014. 2014 when
2014,
he,
yeah,
yeah,
2014.
just before the Border Gavaskar Trophy, 1 month before the Border
Mm.
Gavaskar Trophy, he was scheduled to make a comeback in the Australian team. He was playing a Sheffield
Mm.
Shield match, and then that incident happened.
Mm.
Philip Hughes scored
Such an emotional
36.
moment.
That emotional moment. Philip Hughes scored 36. Salmon Katic scored 122. He came in as an opener this time. Salmon Katic
Mm. He
was
was
promoted
shifted to the opening position.
because
Yeah,
Justin
correct,
Langer
correct.
and Matthew Eden both left together. So
Mm.
Ricky Ponting scored 150. Michael Clark scored 83, and Marcus North scored
Yeah.
125. 125. And Brad Haddin
My
scored
favorite player,
121.
Marcus.
Yeah,
One player, Marcus North.
yeah. Sir Marcus North.
So Marcus came in to replace people like Damien Martin,
Yeah,
and Steve Vaughan, all those greats. Marcus.
yeah. And in reply, England were bundled out for 252. I think some of them, maybe someone got injured, maybe. Uh, no, it was drawn. The first test match was drawn. 252 for 9. Andrew Strauss scored 17. Paul Collingwood scored 74. And no one scored big, and this game was drawn. He somehow saved the test match. And player of the match
Hmm.
was
It
none
was
other than
against Ram.
Ricky Ponting.
Hmm.
Second test match, which became a customary these days, was at Lords, and Andrew Flintoff was the man of the match. And England won this game by 115 runs. So let's go game innings by
Was
innings.
it the last test match of Andrew Flintoff or did he play the entire series?
I'll have to check. I don't remember clearly, so I'll have to check and I'll just let
Yeah,
you
even
guys
I don't
know.
remember clearly. I remember it was the last series.
Yeah,
I think he was on midway, man. I think he was not there for the entire series,
yeah,
to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah. So
But
in the
he
first
was
innings,
battling.
mhm,
He was battling common injuries, to be honest.
yeah, in the first innings, mm, England scored 425. Andrew Strauss got 161. Alistair Cook got 95.
Hmm.
So these were the two big contributions from them. And in the bowling department, Ben Hilfenhaus and Mitchell Johnson were wreaking havoc, 4 wickets and 3 wickets each. Australia were bundled out for 215. This time, no one could not give a big contribution. And Nathan Horrocks came in this time for the squad as an off spinner,
Yeah, Nathan Horrocks. Yeah, I remember that guy, Nathan
24 of
Horrocks.
36. And no major contribution as a batsman. Salmon Katic only 48. And in reply, England scored 311 for 6 declared. And Ravi Bopara scored 27. Kevin Peterson scored 44. Paul Collingwood scored 54. Matt Pryor scored 61 of 42. A quick fire innings when he was run out by Marcus North. And in reply, Australia scored 406. They went for the chase. Michael Clark scored 136, got bowled by Swan. And Brad Haddin scored 80. And England won this test match.
Yeah, the guy who came in to replace Adam Gilchrist.
Yep. And in bowling wise, let me check. Andrew Flintoff took 5 wickets in that final innings, which prompted for the man of the match trophy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then the third test match at Birmingham, Michael Clark was the man of the match. And Australia batting first. They were bundled out for 263. So there was low scoring games in this one. So batting friendly pitches were not there
Yes.
as much.
Batting friendly pitches were not there in England at that point of time. These were
Yeah.
kind of bowling friendly pitches swinging around.
And now in the third test match, Shane Watson was brought in as an opener. Phil Hughes was dropped.
And did he score hundreds? Shane
62.
Watson.
62 in the first innings.
Ah,
Salmon Katic scored 46, and in reply, England scored 376. So beautiful innings from all of them. Everyone contributed. Andrew Strauss, Ian Bell 53, 69 from Andrew Strauss, 74 from Andrew Flintoff. Stuart Broad scored 55, 376
Stuart
all out.
Broad was a very good batsman at that point of time.
Yeah. And in reply, Australia scored 375 for 5. Michael Clark scored 100. Michael Hussey scored 64. And Marcus North batted really well, 96. He was a good batsman lower down the order.
Okay. And
So
he
this,
could bowl some spin as well.
yeah,
He could bowl some spin as well,
yep,
Marcus
yep,
North.
yep, some off spin, leg spin, right? Off spin. I don't remember
Off
exactly.
spin as well.
Yep, yep, yep.
Spin.
So this match was also drawn at Birmingham. And then in the fourth game at Leeds, Australia came with all guns blazing. They just dismissed England out of their sight. Marcus North was again man of the match. England bowled out for 102, and guess who was the hero? Peter Siddle, 5 wicket haul. And Australia, in reply, scored 445, Michael Clark 93, Marcus North 110. So it was very
Oh
good outing
man,
for Marcus North.
I miscalculated, misjudged.
Yeah,
He had some
just
peak
hundreds after this is
performances, man.
Steve Smith-esque kind of a tour for him. Steve Smith-esque kind of tour, hundreds after hundreds.
Yeah,
John Bradman kind of a record for Marcus North, man.
yeah, Brandon kind of record, and I was underestimating him, man.
This scorecard is looking better than Adam Gilchrist's one. Oh man. And we were making fun of him earlier.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Stuart Broad took 6 wickets in this innings. And in reply, England scored 263. No big contributions. The lower order, Stuart Broad and Graeme Swann scored 60 runs each. And they were
And
all out.
we had started England's lower order,
Yep.
strong lower orders from here, 2009
Yep.
onwards. People like
And
uh, Grant Swan
yep.
and Tim Bresnan, all these kind of people
Yep.
started coming in. And they started batting. All the bowlers started batting.
Yep. And now comes the series deciding game was at the Oval. England batting first at the Oval, scored 322.
That's Nefters, is it?
Yeah, fifth test. Ian Bell scored 72. Andrew Straw scored 55. It was notable contributions. And Peter Siddle took 4 wickets. Ben Hilfenhaus took 3 wickets. And Australia were bundled out for 160. And no big contributions, only 150 from Simon Cattage. And guess who was the hero? Graeme Swann and Stuart Broad.
Mhm.
Stuart Broad took 5 wickets and Graeme Swann took 4 wickets. Steve Harmison bowled only 4 overs, so I guess this was the end of Steve Harmison, I believe.
Yeah, he was coming towards the end of his career.
Yep.
2009, 10, 11, I think he was done.
And you were right. Jonathan Trott came into the party in this fifth test match. He was brought into the squad, batted at number 5, scored at 119, and Andrew Straw scored
See,
75.
I told you. Jonathan Trott, they started forming a good core of batsmen
Yeah.
from 2009 onwards. And not to forget, this core went on to win the Ashes in 2010 in Australia as well.
Yes. This was a
Mm.
memorable,
This
memorable
was the
victory.
main core.
Yeah, this was the
This
main
was
core.
the
We'll
main.
come to that
Yes.
series. We'll discuss it right now after this only.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as bowling, England in the second innings were 373 for 9. Guess who took the most number of wickets? Marcus North, 4 wickets.
Oh, I was making fun of him, man.
And he took 4 wickets. And Australia in reply bundled out for 348. Michael
How
Hussey
did
scored
he
100.
perform in any series after that series?
Yeah.
Hmm.
This was the only series which he flourished because after that we never heard of him. One series
We
wonder.
never heard of him.
Michael
And
Hussey
he
scored.
came to India in 2010 and he was
Yeah,
very, very poor. That is why I was making fun of him.
yeah. Michael Hussey scored 121. Michael Hussey scored 121. And Ricky Ponting scored 66. But that was it. That was the end of that. That was the end of that. And they were bundled out for 340. And England got back the Ashes. Got back the Ashes,
England
which,
got back the Ashes. And the golden period, I would say, of England cricket started from here. I think 2009 to 13, they were really good.
yeah,
They were really,
yeah,
and Andrew Flintoff.
exactly. I'll tell you why. Because this core of players just stuck together. This was a core which they developed. Andrew Strauss was the captain, right, at that time. So he developed a
Hmm.
core of players which he kept together, and they flourished a lot. They kept the squad
Exactly.
together, they developed together, and they contributed. Each and everyone contributed at the most important junctures. That was the most important reason why they succeeded so much in Australia as well.
Yeah, very balanced, talented squad as well. They had
Yeah.
some good test batsmen and good attacking batsmen, defensive batsmen. They had a good spinner. They had some good pace bowlers, fast bowlers who could bat. Yeah, they didn't have that
So,
all rounder because Andrew
yeah.
Flintoff was retiring.
Hmm.
But they had a lot of bowling all rounders in the lower order.
Yeah. So,
Very good core, very good, very good
exactly.
wicket keeper batsman as well.
Yeah. So now
Great player.
before we move on to the 2010-2011 series, we would like to just
Hmm.
note an important point that we might have just missed, that Kevin Peterson was dropped from the Ashes in this one.
Oh,
Yeah, he was not playing a single game.
ah. He was dropped from the Australian tour.
He was dropped from the 2009 Ashes, the one which we were discussing
Oh,
right
this
now.
was nine. Sorry, the one which we discussed now.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was not there.
he was not there.
Why was he dropped? Was it due to
Some injury or
poor
something,
behavior or something?
something
Some
happened.
issues with the
ECB.
captain or something,
Yeah,
right?
but he came back. He came
Yeah.
back in the tour. Uh,
He was
England.
there in the Australian series, when I do
Yeah,
remember him playing that
he came back in Australian
Australian series.
series. England batting
Hmm.
first at Gabba, 260 all out. Ian
Hmm.
Bell and Alistair Cook were the only ones who stood tall. Kevin Peterson scored 43. And
Hmm.
the bowling was very much similar. Marcus North was also playing in this series as well. And Peter Siddle took 6 wickets. And he bowled 1 over as well. 1 over, 1 run.
Uh-huh.
In Australia,
That is one.
yeah, and Australia batting first scored 481. Michael Vaughan got 195, and Brad Haddin was the wicket keeper for Australia this time,
Very,
136.
very, I would say, below average wicketkeeper batsman after Arvind.
Yeah,
Not up to international level. Yeah. Very good wicketkeeper, but batting way is not there.
yep, yep, yep. So yes,
Mm.
Brad Haddin scored
That's why
$136,
that's why it is very important to find good replacements, right?
and
For
yes,
India,
and guess who was the new bowling sensation in England team in this tour, which led them win in this Ashes? Who made them win? Stephen Finn, 6 wickets to 125. That fast bowler.
oh, that guy, oh, that tall guy, right?
The tall
Steven.
guy, yeah, tall guy, Steve, who used to bowl 140s. Very
He
quick.
used to bowl 140.
Yep,
Very quick, very quick. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And then in reply, just have a look at the scorecard. 517 for one. Andrew Strauss 110. Alistair Cook 235. Jonathan Trott 135.
Yeah, man, that core, right? Andrew Strauss, Alistair Cook, Jonathan Trott, Kevin Peterson, Paul Collingwood, Matt Pryor. I'm missing out one guy. Who's that guy? Ian Bell.
Yeah,
Oh, that was some batting there, man. That
exactly.
was a
And now,
very, very strong top seven they had. That's why they managed to win with Australia in 2020. See,
yep,
winning a series in Australia is not very easy.
exactly. And
Even
in
if the
that,
Australian team is a bit.
yep, and in the fourth innings, Australia were 107 for one.
Hmm.
They good because the game was drawn. So what does this suggest? This suggests that the pitch initially was tough to bat. Then
Hmm.
it got better and better to bat. So it was very much evident with the scores which we can see here.
Hmm.
It
Yeah,
became
yeah.
flatter and
Correct.
flatter to bat.
Correct.
Then
Correct. Correct.
in the second test match, who would have thought that some team can defeat Australia in Australia by an innings? Happened at Adelaide.
Oh God, that was a very rare occurrence, right? Australia losing by innings in Australia. Very, very rare occurrence.
Yeah. Michael Hussey scored 93 in the first innings, put into bat Australia, 245 all out. Only big contribution. Brad Haddin scored a 50, and your favorite Marcus North got out for 26. And James Anderson took four
Bradman
wickets,
of
by
the
the way.
previous Ashes. It's not.
Sorry?
Bradman of the previous Ashes.
Yeah, Bradman of the previous Ashes was failing, and James Anderson took four wickets. In reply, England scored 620 for 5. Alistair Cook was on fire, 148. Jonathan Trott, 78. But this test is remembered for the masterclass of Kevin Peterson,
Kevin Peterson. Yeah,
227 of
yeah.
308. I remember he had discussed with some of the seniors of the England team prior to playing this test match. He was struggling in bouncy conditions. So he trained himself a lot. He adjusted his grips and his footwork a bit. He was working on his game, and that resulted into this 227. So I remember the story behind this success because he worked a lot to get his game right to succeed in Australia.
That's a really good insight, and it
Yeah,
shows that Kevin Peterson, he was not all about flamboyance, but he was a very committed cricketer as
yeah. He wanted to succeed. He wanted to
well.
score big.
Okay, they very passionate cricketer. And out of the textbook, yeah, and see, in
Yeah.
England usually,
Mhm.
you at that point of time, you used to not get many batsmen or even bowlers
Yeah.
who are out of the textbook. Usually, they are according to the textbook, right?
Yep.
Very
Yep. Yep. Yep.
orthodox and everything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
this person was very different at that point of time, almost
Exactly.
baseball level kind of a cricketer at that point of
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
time.
So yep.
And obviously, 2015 England cricket changed a lot, but
Mhm.
I'm talking about the pre 2015 era of
Yeah.
England.
Yeah.
Yeah, different kind of an England player he was.
Yeah. 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 So, Australia, they were asked to bat again, trying to set a score for England. They could not set a score for England. Michael Clark scored 80, and they were bundled out for 304. Bowling masterclass from Graham Swan, Stephen Finn, and James Anderson. Mostly James Swan, who took 5 wickets, and they won by an innings
Hmm.
and 71 runs. And man of the match rightfully was given to Kevin Peterson.
Yeah. And Graham Swan, what a bowler he was.
Yeah, it was a very
And
strange
came to
series.
his own in the 2008, 9, 10 phase, and he was amazing up in 2013, I believe. He had a really good purple patch, and unfortunately, that India series also falls in that
Yeah,
timeline.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, right. Now we're moving on. We're moving on to the third Test match. This was at Waka, Perth, and Australia won this game by 267 runs. Australia batted first, got 268. Michael Hussey and Mitchell Johnson got 50s. Brad Haddin got a 50.
Hmm.
Graham Swan took 2 wickets. James Anderson, Chris Tremlett was also playing this series. The fast bowler,
Wow.
tall fast bowler.
Oh, man. The tall, fast bowler, Chris Tremlett.
Yeah.
We all remember that guy. He's full bulked up. He's like
Yep,
a
yep, he's full
bodybuilder.
bulked up. He's full bulked up now. Yep, I remember. Just saw his
Yeah.
photos. Yep. And then,
Some great childhood memories there, Chris Tremblay and all those
yep.
guys.
And England got bundled out for 187. Andrew Strauss scored 50. Alistair Cook scored 30. Ian Bell got a 50. Kevin Peterson was gone for a duck. And this was the innings of Mitchell Johnson, 6 for 38. This was a glimpse of what was to come 3 years later. He bowled really,
Yeah,
really
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Not as
It
quick.
was a glimpse of what he was capable of.
He was bowling in the good area, was swinging the ball, bouncing them out. He just found his rhythm in that inning. 6 for 38.
Mm.
2.20
Correct.
economy rate, mind you. So, yeah, very good innings. And then Australia in the second innings, Michael Hussey scored 100. Stephen Smith played this test match. Guess where he
Steven
batted?
Smith, 2010?
Yeah, he played as a leg spinner. He came in as a leg spinner. And guess where he
Hmm.
batted? Guess where he batted? Shane Watson got scored a 95, and guess which number he batted at? Number 6.
What number 9? Number?
Number 6. Number 6 he batted at.
Number six. He is batted at number 8, number 9 also.
Yeah. And in reply, and in the bowling, before I move on, Chris Timlett took a fifer. And in reply, England got bundled out for 123, thanks to Mitchell Johnson's 3 wickets and Ryan Harris played this test match. That
Oh
beautiful bowler.
man, that was a really, really good bowler.
Yeah, a really good bowler. He used to move the ball both ways after pitching. He used to hit the right
Yeah.
areas with consistent high 130s was his pace, and it was a very good bowler.
Mm, very, very good bowler.
So man of the match,
A
Mitchell
faster
Johnson.
version of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar.
Yeah,
Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was very slow, but Ryan Harris was quick as well.
yeah. Ryan Harris was a ball who used to move the ball both ways by pitching the ball. He was not a good swinger of the ball, mind you. He had a
So
good.
yeah,
He was
somewhat like
Mohammad
Courtney
Shami type.
was.
Courtney was
Mohammad Shami did.
Mohammad Shami types, yeah.
Courtney was Mohammad Shami did. Yeah.
And if once was not good enough, if once was not good enough, England won this test match at MCG. They again beat England. They beat Australia by innings for the second time.
Oh, again,
Yeah,
second time.
yeah,
England seemed to have dominated the series, right?
exactly. They dominated the series. 98 all out Australia. Just imagine, first innings, 98 all out. James Anderson,
Yeah.
Chris Tremlett, 4 wickets each. And Phil Hughes was back into the squad for Australia. But England, in reply, just blasted them away. Jonathan Trott 168, Alistair Cook 82, Andrew Stoss 69, Matt Pryor 85, Graham Swan 22, 513 all out. And in reply, Australia were bundled out for 258. Shane Watson was the only one scoring big, 54. Peter Siddle scored a 40, Brad Haddin scored a 50, and Tim Bresnan came into the series.
I
Tim
told you,
Bresnan.
right, that core of England player bowlers could bat.
Yeah, Tim
Started from
Bresnan.
the yeah.
Tim
Tim
Bresnan,
Bresnan, Grant Swan, Stuart Broad, those kind of players.
yeah. And took 4 wickets, Tim Bresnan. Graham Swan took 2. Chris Tremlett and James Anderson took 1 wicket each.
Ultimately, it matters, man. You have to have bowlers who can hold the bat.
Yep, exactly. It matters. You just need bowlers who can hold the bat. And that's what you need.
Yeah,
And to
you
succeed well.
need.
Yep. Now, uh, we'll look at the final test match of this series.
I think it was a draw, 2-1 draw, or was it 3-1?
It was a draw. No,
It
it was
was a
not a
2-1,
draw.
2-1.
No, it was not a draw. England won this test match, and again at
3-1?
Sydney they beat Australia by an innings.
3-1? Was it 3-1?
3-1, yeah. And they beat by an innings again at Sydney. So all the test matches which they won by an innings.
Fantastic. Shows how weak Australia was.
Yep, 280 all out starting off. Only 50 was from Mitchell Johnson. Tim Bresnan took 3 wickets. James Anderson took 4. England batting first. Alistair Cook 189. Ian Bell 115. Matt Pryor 118.
Man, Alistair Cook was at a peak of his career.
Yeah. And Australia, in reply, 281 all out. James Anderson, Chris Tremlett, 3 wickets each. Tim Bresnan, 2 wickets. No notable contributions. Only Peter Siddle, 43. Stephen Smith, 54. Not out.
The guy who went on to rule the entire decade for which followed.
Yeah, and I think when Brad Haddin came into the scene, he was kind of competing his place with Marcus North. They were
Oh,
shuffling
seriously?
places. No.
Seriously?
Brad Haddin and Marcus North for the wicket keeper slot.
Pakistan was wicketkeeper?
No, Brad Haddin was the wicket keeper. He was dropped in this final test match.
Who was wicketkeeper then?
Brad Haddin.
Hmm.
Yeah, Brad Haddin was wicket keeper. You forgot about that aspect. I thought. I think.
Yeah, Van Allen was a wicket keeper. Yeah, Marcus Not was an all rounder, right?
Yeah, Marcus Knapp was an all-rounder. Yep, yep, yep.
Hmm.
And he was dropped, by the way. And he was dropped.
Dropped,
Marcus Knapp was dropped.
dropped for, dropped for
Steve
whom?
Smith. Yep.
Steve
He was
Smith.
dropped for Steve Smith. Yep,
Oh,
yep, yep.
you mean to say Steve Smith and Marcus Not were competing?
Yeah, Steve Smith and Marcus Knapp were competing for the places.
Yeah,
And Alistair Cook was
those
player
are
of the
different.
match and series. Rightfully so.
It turned out to be a no kind of competition at the end if you go back and see the records.
Yeah.